In the middle of the diving round, they pulled the divers off the boards. The divers were competing literally in the third round of their finals, and they just cut the meat. They're like, it's been determined that there's going to be no more postseason. And, as the coach, it was heartbreaking. You have a diver in the middle of their final, and it's like, at least let them finish the final. We do feel like we have some unfinished business in that season. And we felt like our women were going to really be within the top 20. I mean, I think there was a path to top 15. And the men, I think we're going to get on the scoreboard and for the first time in a few years and score a relay. We feel like we were just kind of getting that momentum going. And if there's a bright spot in the NCAA is being canceled, I think it is now. You have that, okay, now we have a mantra for next season. It's the season to finish the business. It's the season to finish off kind of what we had started on that path to be nationally relevant. So what I think the postponement has done for swimming community has allowed us as a whole group to really pump the brakes. Here we are at the pinnacle of a 4-year cycle. It's the worst possible time, and all the athletes are like, I think they're considering like jumping over the fence and breaking in pools, So I'm really glad that the IOC and all the other major international sports federations have chimed in and said, let's postpone it. It's in the interest of the athletes. We don't want the athletes exposed to this virus more than we want our grandparents exposed. And, for some of our younger swimmers who were maybe looking at the Olympic trials as a first time, if I'm going in, I can get top 16, maybe get a second swim, right? You want to make the semifinal. We had a couple guys, I think, Kevin Hausman and Ryan Greeley were in those positions where, as a 20-year-old, 19-year-old going to the Olympic trials, looking at it going, okay, I can get a second swim. Well, they're going to be another year mature, really peaking physically, I think. Those become guys now who have a chance to make some real noise at the trials in a year. So you have this kind of existing elite class of athlete, and now you have a rising class that's going to join them, and it's going to make the Olympic team a lot more competitive, that's for sure. Yeah, so in terms of the Olympic hopefuls, it's been a real, stressful time, especially if we have two young men from Italy. One of our, freshmen, Federico Berdiso, last summer, he was fourth at the World Championships in the 200-meter fly. He was I would say a strong contender for the Italian Olympic team. He's not, no one has ever guaranteed anything, but based on his times, he's a real medal contender. And obviously things in Italy have really spiraled, and, it's no longer about swimming in Italy, right? It's about survival and wishing the best. So, we've got guys like Alessandro and Federico, brothers. We also have a young man from Spain, Manu, who his trials were supposed to be next week. And up until, 7 days ago, we were still thinking we're going to go to the NCAA championships, coming home and then getting on a plane and flying to Barcelona on Sunday following the championships. And obviously we have, Calypso Sheridan, who's on the Australian national team and is a serious, contender for their Olympic team. With Federico and Alessandro, we've been communicating quite a bit with their parents and with their home federation. And every day as we're doing that, communicating with his parents, they're actually sheltering. They're good. That's a good thing. Number one is health and safety. And then what was going to be best for them long-term. Every day we got away from the Italian championships being canceled, it seemed more and more like the Olympics were going to be postponed. So I felt really good about, keeping them here because they do have access to doctors on campus. They've got great health care. We've got great health care here for our athletes. So it didn't make a lot of sense to send them home. So fortunately, the university, and Dr. Phillips and some of his executive staff have really graciously helped us in letting them stay here on campus. Training or not, it was in their best interest for sure. We actually have the team set goals at the beginning of the season for where they think they can finish. And the girls team was going, we think we could be fourth or fifth, and they were a little nervous about setting that high of a goal almost. And the men's team was like, no, we're fifth. And the girls were like, well, if the men are fifth, then we're fourth. It's hard to imagine the boldness and the guts it took to write that down, and not only that, you have to write it down. You got to sign your name to those goals, and it hangs in the team room all year round. And every day you got to look at those goals. And, when you go out to practice, you got to say, okay, this practice counts because I signed my name to that. And then to be there at the end of the season and to be sitting in fifth and fourth place, was just such a testament to their willpower, to be honest. And for our seniors, we had 3 girls, make the NCAA championships for the first time ever in their 4 years. And Crystal was going to make it individually. Nicole Arts and Mallory were relay swimmers, and they were on 4 relays. And it was going to be the exclamation point to a banner year, right? So now you have this sentence with no end, and that's tough to swallow. In terms of our team turnaround this year, we finished 4th on the women's side, and for those 3 seniors to have that kind of experience to end on that kind of note, it's not the storybook ending, but they can walk away feeling good about where they left their legacy on Northwestern swimming and diving.